when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers got to wear a dress. That's happened to me.
Martin tried to put me in my first dress when he had to go on his hiatus.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment.
We gotta let some air out of the ball, man. The country's getting a little tight. It doesn't feel like it's ever...
What if the biggest joke in Hollywood wasn't on stage, but on the men telling it? What if the laugh track covered something a lot less funny? And why do so many careers seem to shift the moment a certain costume comes out of the closet? Every few years, Hollywood rolls out the same image. Another black comedy legend, another wig, another floral dress, and the audience is told to relax. It's just comedy. People laugh. Studios cash in. Anyone who side-eyes it gets labeled too deep. But then you hear guys like Dave and Kat, men who've been inside the machine, hint that something about it doesn't feel random. And that's where it gets messy. Let's rewind to August 1999. What should have been another victory lap from Martin Lawrence turned into headlines that felt more like a police report. He was reportedly found in the street, overheated, disoriented, yelling that someone was trying to cave.
Please help me! Please! Help me! Please! They're trying to kill me!
Other comedians who worked with him described him as tough, focused, even inspiring. So the question hangs in the air. What pushes a man at the peak of his power into the street screaming for help? No one has proven some secret plot in court. There's no official statement blaming a shadowy group. But when multiple insiders start calling the industry a monster, you can't ignore the language. Dave Chappelle has said outright that the industry can chew people up, not because they're weak, but because the system is relentless. And when he walked away from a reported $50 million deal with Comedy Central, he didn't say it was about race. He said it was about the machine. That's his word. A monster.
Lawrence is the guy that showed everybody you can make it from D.C. to Hollywood. And I had a personal stake in his success. Every time he did something, it made me feel inspired and really good. And he was always real nice to me. He'd sit me down, what's going on with you, baby boy? What? We'd talk about comedy, whatever. And, you know, when we did Blue Streak, we were promoting it, and Martin had a stroke. He almost died. And then after that, I saw him, and I was like, oh my God, Martin, are you okay? And he said, I got the best sleep I ever got in my life. That's how tough he is. So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, they are trying to kill me?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take her clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows.
If you are streaming that show, you're fencing stolen goods. They stole that from me. They just took it. And I'm not up here trying to tell you guys that I believe that Comedy Central gave me a raw deal just because I'm black. I believe that they gave me a raw deal because this industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too was trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it eats, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the...
Then something strange happened with Martin's career arc. After the chaos, after the recovery, the comeback didn't look like the rebellious comic who once shocked live TV. It looked safer, padded, franchised. Big Mama became the brand. A grandmother in a floral dress, bankable, repeatable, global. Same name on the poster, different energy. Some people call that growth. Others see neutralization. And here's where the pattern conversation starts heating up. Cat Williams has publicly claimed that he was offered roles that required him to wear a dress and that he refused. According to him, one meeting allegedly shifted from a straightforward buddy cop idea into something involving another Big Mama style twist. That's his version. Not proven in court, not backed by contracts we've seen. But he insists he said no, and that saying no comes with consequences. Reputation hits. Fewer calls. Labels like crazy or difficult. Sound familiar?
Looking at it, Cat Williams, he told a story about how he was supposed to be in, Big Mama House 2, but he turned the role down after Martin was trying to put him in the dress. How you feel about him saying that?
And that's probably true. But again, everything comes down to choices. Like the dress thing is taboo in today's world because the world has woken up, so to speak. See, back in the day, I don't think that it was taken too seriously because let's go way back to Flip Wilson, way before you was born. But Flip Wilson used to have a show called The Flip Wilson Show. And he used to wear a dress every Thursday night. And he used to dress up as Geraldine. And his callback line was, "The devil made me do it." It was a big hit. But back then, no one said it was wrong. No one said that he was gay. No confusion. But as we move forward, even when you did Big Mama House, no one looked at Martin and said, "Yo, why the F you doing this female stuff?" Even when you do Tyler Perry, it still was getting a pass. It's just in the last few years to where dress has really become taboo and embarrassing. And it's time that it stops because it's sending out the wrong signal to the world.
Brandon T. Jackson has also spoken about feeling like wearing a dress changed the trajectory of his career in ways he didn't expect. He's described it as something that, in his personal belief, brought negative energy into his life. That's a spiritual interpretation, not a verified industry fact. But listen to the emotion behind it. He says everything went left after that choice. Coincidence? Maybe. But then you stack story on top of story, and it stops feeling isolated.
So what do you think? It's never been done before. 3 lovable drag queens driving cross-country, helping Middle America solve its problems.
Y'all want me to wear a dress?
Foolish. This isn't a throwaway role. You'll be carrying the emotional energy of the movie.
Man, it's not that I don't appreciate the offer, because I do, but...
All we're asking you to do is to take the script home, read it, and make a decision.
Then make the decision.
Foolish. There's a lot of money involved.
We're talking a major motion picture here, Foolish.
Can't hurt. All right. I don't know, man.
Foolish, please. We're not supposed to talk about this yet. Harrison may be signing on as one of the other drag queens.
Get out of here. Harrison.
Harrison.
Air Force Harrison.
Harrison.
Me and... Harrison. Harrison. Foolish Ways and Harrison.
Harrison.
That's Harrison. So I guess that's me.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I ain't feeling that, man. I ain't feeling it at all. I thought y'all was casting a movie about the black experience in Vietnam.
That's down the road, man.
How far down the road? Because I got car problems right now.
Way down the road. Listen, this is now, Foolish.
Now.
We're talking about taking you out of the clubs and putting you on the couch.
On the couch.
With Lena.
Lena.
Oprah. Rosie.
Can I say something that every actor probably want to say to a couple of gentlemen like yourselves?
Sure, sir. Say anything you want to say.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Kiss my black... Man, I'm not selling.
And then there's Dave. He's told a detailed story about walking into a trailer and finding a dress waiting for him for a scene that hadn't been previously discussed. He describes pressure from writers, directors, producers, all insisting it would be hilarious. According to him, the moment he stood firm and refused, a new scene was written in minutes. If that story is accurate, it suggests the dress wasn't creatively essential. It was optional. So why push it so hard? Dave frames it as conditioning. You bend once, and the line moves forever.
Get like slack when you wore the dress at that moment. It was like, wasn't slack from people. Only Cat Williams. Cat Williams was trying to always say, Brandon, don't wear a dress. You know,
he called you, or is this?
No, he was saying it in the media, so I thought he was heckling me. He was really trying to help me at the time. I didn't know that. I was immature.
Right.
I feel like, dang, why I'm trying to make it. Why you bashing me? And then he was trying to warn me, you know, don't get in the dress. So the Awakened Brandon, you couldn't pay him $1 trillion to get in the dress.
Yeah. Was there like, how did they present that? Well, you knew right away you had to get in the dress.
I did the scene on lottery ticket.
Okay.
That scene on lottery ticket. After that, they were pushing his dress on me. It was something about that scene that touched a lot of people, and I think I was too real. I think they did the same thing like to Tupac. When you too real, they start looking at you like, hold on, how'd this slip past us? Who's this guy? You know what I mean? And then it's like, you know what? Yeah, he might be a kid. Just put him in the dress.
What do you think the dress is about? Is it to tone us down, to tone that realness down?
I think the dress, personally, is a thing that is not in our culture to do. And I think everybody will want to put their culture on us. No, not to hate your culture or your God. Mm-hmm. If your God say you can put on a dress and your culture is normal for you, that you have the right as a human to choose that. But me, for my God and my culture, my ancient culture, we didn't do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was cursed by it. I believe it was a curse that went with that personally, because nothing went right since then. That's truthful. No one can tell me, hey, man, you thinking too much, man. Sit down, man. Everything went wrong. Just like everything went right. Everything went wrong when I put on that dress. I'm telling you, I lived it.
Yeah. Is there any, like...
Even with Martin, things went wrong when he did it, too. Because Martin is very anointed. Martin is a very strong man. And Dave Chappelle said that, too. He says things about that, too. And if you look at Martin's Arsenio Hall interviews, you look at him now,
Kevin Hart has addressed this, too, saying no one forces you to do anything in Hollywood. It's a choice. He's acknowledged that he once said he'd never wear a dress, then later decided something was funny and did it. That perspective matters. It complicates the narrative. Not every man in a wig is claiming coercion. Some say it's just comedy. So now we're left with two truths colliding, choice and pressure. And that's where it gets uncomfortable. Terrence Howard has used the phrase, breaking the buck, referencing a historical concept about humiliating strong men publicly to send a message. He has alleged that modern industry tactics can feel similar, offers framed as opportunities, but with underlying tests attached. Those are his words and interpretations, not court-verified conspiracies. But when multiple entertainers describe similar dynamics, closed-door meetings, strange asks, reputation smears when they resist, you start asking whether it's culture or conditioning.
Disappeared for a while. People were saying, where's Dave? Where's Dave Chappelle? Where's he going? And then it turns out you took a trip to Africa. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they said.
Right.
It was
because
like,
the stories, as you know, you're hearing all kinds of stuff on the news.
It was crazy, man. I mean, first I went to Africa to chill, and I tell you, hear a lot of black people say this, like when you go to Africa, especially your first time, you have this overwhelming feeling like you're home, which is true. I had that feeling like, man, this feels like home. I think I felt that way because there's a McDonald's in the airport. So I got my Big Mac. But then it was like, it just got out of control. Like I was in Africa, and next thing I know, I started hearing all the stories like comedian Dave Chappelle's in a mental institution in South Africa. And I was like, man, I must be losing my mind.
Yeah.
Because I thought this was the beach. Yeah. And everybody calls me crazy. You know, I mean, it was just...
You're hearing on the news things like he's gone crazy, which that didn't sound right, you know? And
well, you know, maybe I know stuff people don't want me to talk about. So
right.
we want what other people believe. So they'll call me crazy. Mm-hmm. But it was a weird thing to get called crazy. At first it was scary. And then now I feel like it's liberating. Like, I feel free, like I can just say what I want to do. They already call me crazy. I can't hold myself accountable for these things. I'm crazy. I can't be held responsible. Yeah. Couldn't control.
Dave once joked that when the media called him crazy after he went to Africa, it felt liberating. If they're already labeling you unstable, what leverage do they have left? That theme keeps popping up. Speak out you're unstable. Refuse, you're difficult. Play along, you're marketable. It's almost too clean. Martin himself has dismissed rumors about rituals or Illuminati involvement as nonsense. He said he's secure in his manhood, and that playing characters in dresses was simply comedy. That's his direct stance. No rituals, no secret society, just performance. And we have to respect that he's the one who lived it. But here's the tension. Why do so many of his peers describe the same system in such different tones? One laughs it off. One calls it a monster. One calls it a curse. One calls it a business choice. And here's the part people don't want to sit with. All of them could be telling the truth from their angle. In business, nothing is accidental for long. Money moves with intention. Careers pivot for reasons. That doesn't automatically mean secret ceremonies or hidden cabals. It could simply mean power dynamics. It could mean branding. It could mean executives deciding what version of a man sells best. And if that version requires a wig and a punchline, that's the version that gets funded. But when you line it all up, Martin's breakdown headlines, Dave's refusal stories, Kat's warnings, Brandon's regrets, Kevin's shift in tone, you start seeing a pattern of moments where a line is drawn. The question isn't whether a dress is evil. It's why it keeps showing up at career crossroads. So what do you see when you zoom out? A harmless comedic tradition that goes back to Flip Wilson and beyond? A smart marketing strategy? Or a subtle system that tests how far someone will bend before they break?
With all the man-on-man action that I'm learning about, I mean, like with the puffy parties, like the last thing I ever thought that went on there was gay stuff. Not that gay stuff is wrong, it's wonderful. I just did not think that's what Puffy was doing.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it either. And even when my assistant said that stuff, I still was like joking it off. And it wasn't until later on that I heard other things from people that worked from him. You know, you remember that back in the times of slavery, they had a thing called breaking the buck, that people in the industry are still making young rappers who have fought the worst of circumstances, being disenfranchised, being discounted, and then they finally like, I'm gonna put it into the music. I'm gonna do it in the music. I'm gonna, and get myself together. And they go and see someone, and they tell them, okay, yeah, you got. Number of producers coming to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing. And have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that because the man card means